crash course here, but how much do you think you can show on Sunday, if at all?
I mean, as much as I can learn, I mean, I feel like this defense is something that I've been in before, playing for Coach Burke down in Miami. So just getting down the terminology and everything, just getting comfortable, and then being able to go out there and just communicate with the guys that are on the field, on defense, and just, and if the coaches feel like I'm, comfortable and up to speed, then, hey, it's go time.
What is your relationship like with Coach Burke?
Oh man, Burke, that's my guy, man. He's under that Coach Schwartz tree, and I mean, I played under Chris Urich in Detroit, and then had Burke down in Miami. So I got a high passion for those guys, man. Love the way they coach defense, love the way they coach D line and everything. And I just have a passion for playing attack defense, and got the call. Of course, why not?
What do you think of Jim Schwartz's system and what it lets defensive tackles do?
Oh, man, I mean, just if you go back to the days when he was in Detroit with Sue, Sue, him fairly, D tackles 8 in that system, and up here, Fletcher and those guys, D tackles thrive in this system, being able to attack, get upfield, throw guards by and make plays in the backfield. I mean, it's not too many coaches that are, just let the D line, go out there and just do their thing. And when you get an opportunity to do that, obviously you got to make the coaches up front. You got to make it look good, and they got to be able to trust you. And I think these guys have done a great job of that. And just being able to come in and add to that, man, that's great. And being on a winning team like this, man, hey, you don't want to mess nothing up. So, I'm just trying to get my stuff in line so I can, hey, fall in line.
Are there other guys here in the locker room that you have a relationship with?
No, man. Everybody in here is like fairly new. I mean, I knew Josh from when we played back in the Tampa together, but I mean, he's just got here as well. So it's just all new faces, really just meeting new people, man. And just, I mean, obviously, I know a lot about this team, watching play, how resilient they are, and it's just getting here, actually putting names with faces and just seeing how they approach, work every day. It's a business like, and that's how it should be. And they're real professionals, man. And so far, it's been great, man.
Before you came into Philadelphia, what was your perception of what the Eagles defense and the Eagles culture was?
I mean, winning, you know what I'm saying? Winning. Even like last week, I was watching their game. It was just so ironic. I was watching, I was like, dang, these guys went down early. I wonder what the coaches are saying, and it's just so ironic, just talking to the guys. When I got here, it's like, Coach wasn't really, upset. It was just real mellow. Go out there, do our job, and it was more so the players. The players took ownership and everything like that. And when you have guys in the locker room taking ownership, then it's easy to come back from a deficit like they did, and it shows why they're champions. And I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
What do you think of the opportunity, the possibility of playing next to Fletcher Cox or something?
Who wouldn't want that opportunity? I mean, that opportunity, it doesn't come across every day. So you get a phone call like that, you got to jump on it, man.
How tough is it? You've been on a bunch of teams to step in right away and really just kind of figure out the playbook and then bam, get playing.
I mean, like they said, it's the first time for everything. I never been in that situation. It's my first time being in this situation. I mean, I think for a day being back in the system, I did a good job of just getting everything down, going out there. I don't think I ME that practice today, so that's a step in the right direction. And just getting comfortable and like I said, just getting more and more comfortable. And then if the coaches feel like I'm ready, then Sunday I go out there and I do the best of my ability to just come in and help this team continue the path that they're on.
Obviously, you guys can't rely on a deep threat or a deep ball to DeSean Jackson every single time, but how much does that open up for the rest of the offense?
I mean, I think it helps everyone. He's a guy that can score each and every play, and defenses always have to account for him anywhere we are on the field. So in theory, there should be more space in the middle of the field where I operate and some of the other guys operate. So I feel like we go hand in hand. We're extremely complementary of one another in terms of our styles of play. And I'm excited for the rest of the year.
Did you feel that space after his 2 touchdowns? I mean, could you see them?
They probably didn't adjust as much as they probably should have. But at the end of the day, DeSean did his thing. I mean, he had a ton of catches, a ton of yards, 2 touchdowns, huge for us. Definitely the player of the game, probably him and Carson in my mind. Those two were just clicking on all cylinders week 1 of the season. I think it goes back to all offseason. I mean, we saw that the entire offseason, how well they were operating together. And so I'm extremely happy for this football team that he's back in this locker room.
DeSean said after the game that Nelson Aguilar was a little down, and DeSean wanted to lift him up and said, hey, next week can be your week.
Yeah.
When you see the way defenses may change because of DeSean's speed, and Atlanta's a team that might give you more over the middle.
Yeah.
Any moment, can anybody have the big day on this team?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of good receivers, pass catchers on this team. So I think there could be games where one guy has a big game, and then I think he could possibly go a couple games without getting the ball as much. And so we got a lot of selfless guys on this team at the receiver position, guys that have played a lot of football, had a lot of really good individual seasons, but we're not here to have great individual seasons. We're here to hopefully be playing into February, and that's our only goal.
You mentioned the this week, personally, he made it sound like he won't be able to go deep maybe as much against this team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just always trying to put wins on tape. That's what I try and do each and every play. Put wins on tape. Whether I get the ball, great. If I don't, that's great too. We got a lot of talent on this team. I know the ball's not going to go to me every play. If they want me to, I feel like if they want to get me the ball, I'll be there. If they don't, that's fine too.
You went to a lot of more 12 personnel in the second half. How did that open up the game for you guys? And what did you see from obviously Dallas coming off that calf injury from the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were very efficient out of 12 personnel. Obviously, in my opinion, we got one of the best tight end rooms in the league. But I think the running game was extremely successful in the second half out of 12. Still working on it, still trying to see how we can evolve it, be better at it, but I'm excited with where it's going.
Just watching that Vikings-Falcons game from last week, it was unique in the sense that Kirk Cousins only had, 10 passes?
Yeah, 10 passes,
What can you guys take from that game?
I feel like if you're a successful running team in the NFL, you're going to be a good team. And it starts with the run game each and every week for us. We got 5 really talented offensive linemen and some really good running backs and guys that are willing to block downfield at the tight end and receiver position. So we want to be a run-first team, and I think the passing game plays off that.
There were some people that thought that Carson would be a little bit more reluctant to extend plays this year, just because he wanted to stay in the pocket and maybe not risk his health.
Yeah.
You guys had some plays Sunday, including that 3rd and 15 lead, where you got out of the pocket and made some terrific plays.
Yeah, I think it's hard to take that side away from him. I thought he was very efficient when he was moving in the pocket. When he was moving laterally and not towards the defenders. Kind of really avoiding hits, which I think is the recipe for success at that position in this league. You can't be taking on these defenders over and over again in this league at quarterback and expect to play a long time. So I think he's learning from it. I thought he played his butt off this past week, and not only staying in the pocket, but like you said, out of the pocket. He wasn't looking to run. I think he was looking to distribute the ball, and I think that helped.
Why do you think you've had so much success against that run?
We make sure we stop the run because, that's with any team. You got to make sure you stop the run. And, obviously he got some great weapons over there. So, we always got our hands full. It's just, we all play hard against each other. That's really the number one thing. Both teams, it's always a nail-biter with us. Always go to the end. Two well-coached teams, just fighting. And I think that, we've been coming out on top, but, it's never easy. We got to make sure that we stay focused. We're going down to their place this time, so that's the difference. They've been at us the last 2 years. And so, we just can't take no team for granted. I know they just lost the way they did, so they're going to come here ready to, get Julio the ball, make sure that, there's going to be a lot of stuff that they're going to do that they didn't get a chance to because they went down so fast last week. So.
I feel like we've asked you 101 times at this point, but how can this defense get off to a faster start than last week?
Just make sure that now that, the first game is over with, everybody was excited. I know I was. Sometimes you can overdo it, and kind of think too much, and then you try to play catch up, and by halftime we caught up and was able to, do stuff that we practice, and so all we got to do is make sure that we stay cool. We got this. We just got to make sure because sometimes I know how it is. The hypeness of the game can kind of carry you away in this 8-20 game, so it's going to even be more hyper because everybody's watching.
Losing Malik on the line is obviously really tough. How can you make do without him?
Somebody got to step up. This is another chance for somebody to provide for their families and show what they can do on this field. And so I think that we just got to make sure we bring the person along, whoever that is, and get him to maximize his potential at that position.
How does the D-line as a whole try to get a guy like Akeem Spence up to speed this week?
Well, he's been playing, so for him, he look like he's in shape. We just got to make sure we get him the technique and learn the plays, and we gotta help him while we out there, because we got a bunch of unselfish guys and people that want to win. So you want to make sure you get them up to speed as fast as you can. I think they're doing a good job at getting them in there right now.
How different is their running game? Two new backs in the backfield, at least from the playoffs.
Well, Freeman, he's going to hit the hole. He's a downhill runner, tough runner. We got to make sure that we don't get him started. And, it's a 1-2 back combination. Both of them big, both of them, as far as, thick, both of them. And they both can run the ball, and they both downhill runners.
How much is Tim, do you think, looking forward to the opportunity of being a starter once again?
Oh, I know he's looking forward to it. He works his butt off every day, and he just can't wait to go out there and prove it.
What's been the key to having success against Matt Ryan?
Making sure that we stop the run, number one, and then making sure that we, as a D-line, put pressure on him.
Would you expect the same sort of game from the last couple of times from what you've seen out of them on tape so far and knowing you guys?
I'm expecting, them to try to get some people going that they didn't get going the last game, and, they like to get it to everybody. I know he dissed the ball to everybody, Ridley, Julio, you got Freeman who's back there, and then you got the other running back. They pass it around. Sanu, he's somebody that can throw the ball, so I'm sure, a couple wildcat little things that they do. They do a little bit of everything, and so we got our hands full. Like I say, we got to make sure that we trust the game plan and carry it out.
Sounds like talking to Carson, he kind of mentioned it might be tougher to take these deep shots, might have to go a little more underneath, this week, kind of based on what the defense presents by Atlanta.
You never know how it's going to play out, honestly, throughout the course of the game. Depending on what the defense give you, you got to just kind of take what they give you. So if they want to give us the deep balls, we're going to take deep balls. If they want to give us underneath, we're going to take whatever they give us.
Doug Peterson called you a gamer today. When the lights come on, you show up. What do you think it is about that stage that allows you to show your best?
It's just preparing mentally, just knowing, being one of them guys who's been in this league a long time, just knowing what it's going to take to play at a high level and just, get the best out of your opportunity every time you get. You have so less of opportunities in this game and this nature we play. So just knowing every time you step foot out on that field, just making the most out of your opportunity.
It really is so rare to have that speed still, not lose a step at your age. You said 32, you put it out there. What do you attribute it to?
Just the hard work, dedication, just taking care of my body, just, the tribulations throughout the season, throughout off season, just staying in shape, man, just doing everything I need to do to continuously stay at a high level and just try not, I remember when I was a rookie, Jerry Rice, I worked out with him, he always told me, take less hits, you can play a long time. So I just try to take less hits possible and just, my regimen all season.
Coach said he was worried about the crowd noise. You've been in that building a couple times now. How does it compare to other places? Is it something to worry about?
Yeah, it definitely gets very live in there. It's a new stadium as well too. So one of the kind of cooler stadiums I played in. Obviously, being indoor dome, being in Atlanta, the Falcons are a good team in the NFL. So I know they'll be cranked up. They obviously lost on the road last week, so it's their first home game. So we know a lot will be riding on this game, and we just want to put our best foot forward.
I know we asked you like 101 times at this point, but looking back at the film, what can you guys take from that second half to make sure that you guys get off to a faster start this time?
I just think just preparing a little better, and not really turning it on when we're down. If we have that mentality from the get-go, just coming out playing fast and just knowing, every snap we have on the field, we just got to put our best foot forward and just play together. And not start slow. That's the biggest thing. We just got to start faster.
Rest of the off.
What about, we talked about your speed, obviously, but your tracking ability on those deep balls, is that from, being a baseball player?
Shoot, I don't know, man. There's just a lot of hard work and practice put into that, man. You could claim it, from the baseball side when I was younger, but I just practiced that a lot and put a lot of time and effort into, off-season workouts and just getting timing down with my quarterback.
You get up for the biggest moments, the biggest games, and then when you're facing your former teams, how about when there's a receiver on the other side that everybody talks about as possibly being the best? Big Sunday night matchup. How up do you get for that?
Obviously Julio is one of the best in the league. We all know that. He's done some miraculous things. Numbers speak for itself. So, anytime you're playing against another team that has a big-time receiver, hopefully,
I can get more big plays than he get, or whoever, somebody on our side, Alshon, Nelly, whoever it is. But we know what we're going up against. I think our defense knows as well, and I think the Atlanta Falcons defense knows what they're going up against as well too. So we feel confident in ourselves and what we're gonna do, and we're just gonna prepare and just get ready for Sunday night.
Large quarterback, strong quarterback. You can go back and watch the tape, and he's generating some push himself. It's not a very, complex play, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. It's pretty simple. You just have to, and everybody dives forward, but there's some nuanced things to it, and as long as everybody's going in the right direction, it can be very difficult for defenses to stop. So I think that, in general, if we can stay low and all work together on that play, it's going to be pretty difficult to stop.
When you get outside the division, you don't play the same teams a lot like you have. You've played now Grady Jarrett twice. What have you learned about him up in the middle?
He's a tremendous player. I think I've actually played 3 times. I think I played him his rookie year too. But he's a good player, really, really quick, unique player inside. You don't see a lot of D tackles with that type of agility. He's smart too. You see that on tape. He anticipates plays. He knows how to, he has great instincts where he feels somebody moving a certain way and redirects. I mean, he's a very good player, and rightfully so was paid this offseason for it.
Do the last 2 wins have much to do with what's going to happen Sunday night for you guys?
No, I don't think so at all. I think every season, every game is a new one. You can't really look too much on it. Obviously, we're familiar with their structure and familiar with some of their players, and you kind of draw that a little bit. But each game is going to be different. I'm sure they'll have some things fired up for us. They have some new pieces on the defense, so we got to approach this same way we approach every week. Study really hard. Make sure you go out there, work on your technique, work on your fundamentals, and get ready for game day.
Jason, how does a team beat the noise? How's an offense beat the noise?
Well, one way to try and do it is to replicate a similar scenario in practice. Obviously, we get the speakers cranked up, get some music blaring so that it puts you in a situation where you have to, be loud and everything communication-wise, and shouting to the person next to you. And then there's also little things from cadences and signals and whatnot to try and limit the effect that the noise has on you.
Do you believe that 1 week can carry over to the next week? In other words, great second half last week by the offense, would that carry over to Sunday?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt the momentum carries over, but I think you don't necessarily think about that. I think that all we're focused on right now is preparing for Atlanta. Getting the game plan, getting the personnel, and trying to be as prepared as possible.
Where did Minnesota have its success running the football against them?
To be honest, I think I need to watch probably more of that game to answer that fully. But Minnesota's got a good rushing attack. They got a good back. That's all I got.
Just you were talking earlier about the success of just the quarterback sneaking. This is a matter of staying low, and you top the first 3 guys, you and the 2 guards.
A little bit more complicated than that, but that's certainly the start of it. Is obviously leverage, and then outside of that, everybody working together and pushing on the right angles. But I think we have a good offensive line. The 2 guards that we have really can generate a lot of push, and then having a quarterback the size of Carson really helps out on that as well.
I was noticing on that, I really hadn't thought about this too much, but watching the game again from Sunday, you always end up underneath a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
What is that like, and do you hold your breath or something, or what do you do?
No, yeah. It's going to be a pile leading up to it. To be honest, if you're underneath everybody, that's a good sign. When you're on top of guys, that's generally you didn't generate much push. I think you try and stay as low as possible. But again, I think really the 2 guards and the quarterback and all of them, they're the ones generating the push. And I think we've got a fortunate group that we kind of all work on the same. I guess we're very cohesive in the way that we do those plays.
How do you practice that?
You don't. You do them in a game. I think we practice them a little bit. Obviously, you're not going to do full go quarterback sneaks in practice. You don't want anybody to get hurt. But we do. We work on the steps and the exact precise angles based on what it looks like, and then the quarterbacks are coached up on it.
How much does the front matter for those? I mean, the defensive front?
The defensive front will dictate a little bit, but for the most part, we're just kind of, I don't want to, it's not like we've converted him against any and pretty much every look that a defense can give us. I think that, you're trying to really, based on the defense, you might have a certain call or whatnot, but for the most part, you're just kind of all plowing forward together.
How much more difficult, if any, when you guys go into a dome? Noise to make things harder, or is it just matter of fact, it's just loud? Is there anything at all that's different in games like that?
Well, you just hit it. The noise it's louder, it's tougher to communicate. In general, I mean, you see it all the time, and teams come into the link whenever it's a loud environment. You're prone to MAs, missed assignments, miscommunications, little things like that. But little things like that are huge in the NFL, especially So I think that's all what we're working on right now with the noise during practice. There's a big emphasis this week on communicating and all being on the same page. So that's the biggest thing with the games.
DeSean and Carson looked like they were, just it was like a video game almost out there. But
yeah.
Carson was kind of mentioning this week's gonna be a little tougher the way Atlanta defends.
Yeah, what do you want me to say about that?
Well, I'm saying, do you agree that you think it's gonna be a little, a lot
I have no idea what happens on that side. I stay from the line of scrimmage, the run game, and the protections. I have no idea about that. If it up to me, I'd just throw it to him every play. That's fine with me. I don't care.
When you went back and looked at film, and you saw second half how dominant the offensive line was in the running game, if you guys can stay healthy and how long you've been together, how dominant a group is this?
Well, I mean, this group, when we've stayed healthy, we've performed really well in the past. But that's a big if. I mean, the NFL, I think I've only played maybe 2 seasons where all 5 guys have stayed healthy my entire career. So we know other guys are going to be asked to do things at certain points during the year. And we're really fortunate to have the depth that we do. But yeah, we have a really good, solid starting 5 group. And then on top of that, we've all had experience working together for a pretty long time. So we kind of know the way each other plays, how they think, and how each other moves. And those little cohesion things that really, you wouldn't think add up to that much, really end up adding up to a lot, especially when you get the exotic things and stuff you're not prepared for.
So what's the chemistry with you and Isaac, and how has it developed? Because it seems like he's really taken his game up to another level.
Yeah, Isaac's a smart player. Obviously, he's a tremendously gifted physical player. But on top of that, he's a really, really smart guy. He's played the center position before, so he's familiar with calls and reading defenses and things like that. So it helps me out, quite frankly, because he knows how to scan the field and he'll see things that I might miss sometimes. So it's really good having him out there. He's very much an extension of the center position for sure.
Have you noticed at a certain point when he really took his game to another level, where he got the confidence to really feel like that?
I mean, I don't ever feel like his game was ever at a bad level, to tell you the truth. I think he's been a solid player from the moment he got in here. If you look across the board, he really had one struggling of a game against Kansas City a few years ago, in which he was going up a guy, at the time nobody knew that Chris Jones is a freaking animal and one of the best pass rushers in the league. And we certainly didn't prepare for him like that leading up to the week. So probably put him in some situations that maybe we shouldn't have put him in. But if you look back to his rookie year, I mean, he went in there and he played really well for us. I mean, he's been a solid guy ever since he stepped into this locker room, in my opinion.
I'm sure a lot of the same questions, but obviously with Malik going out, it's going to be a bigger role for you moving forward. What does that mean for you?
It's the same thing. There's no real difference for me. I got to come with the same mindset. I mean, coming ready to play just like I would be a starter like any other week. You got to prepare like that. So, I mean, it's not a big difference in my mind. Obviously, for the team, we all have to pitch and do a little bit more for Malik, because that's a whole that he's a presence. So everybody has to do a little bit more to fill that gap.
How tough was it to see Malik go down the way he did?
That's always hard. You don't ever want to see anybody on the team get hurt, let alone somebody in your room, one of the leaders in our room, go down like that.
Has he talked to you guys at all?
He's still been here. He's not gone yet. So he's been there, still present here. So.
And how would you describe his mood, and what's sort of been his message to you guys?
Well, keep on going, keep improving. You know everybody. He knows what everybody can do in the room. We're gonna be fine. And I mean, he's still thinking about it. He's still like he hasn't left. He's still in the room coming in after the game, watching film. So it's not like he's gone. He's still here.
A lot of fans might be wondering if there's going to be any sort of drop-off without him in the lineup. What can you say to that?
There's no there's no drop-off. There's not going to be no drop-off, especially with Timmy right there. He's been a starter here. I'm coming in. I'm trying to do the same thing like them. Come in, have no drop-off like we did when we were in the game this last week. So that's try to keep it rolling.
And what's Akeem been like? I know he's just gotten here in the last few hours, so you haven't had a chance to really get to know him a whole lot. But
first day, come in, he's picking up the plays well, trying to learn. He's came in rolling so far.
You go against an Atlanta offense that's obviously going to be champion at the bit after not being able to do much against Minnesota last week. What do you say about that challenge that comes up in prime time on Sunday night?
You can't fall asleep watching that film. You know they got elite talent all over the field for them. I mean, they're an NFL caliber team. They can play just like anybody else. So you can't fall asleep on them.
Everybody talks about Julio and Ridley and Matt Ryan, but at the same time, you got to stop the run game. That first and foremost.
You got to stop the first thing you got to do is stop the run and then get after them in the pass.